Howdy, look what I have here. A new Sidewinder. Oh boy, let's see. All right, so my last instrument here is the Sidewinder. This is my 16-inch version of the Comma series, so sort of my dreadnought-sized Comma. And this one is made out of Adirondack spruce and Honduran mahogany. It's bound in Ziracote, and the rest of the stuff you see on there is ebony. And I love that combination of woods for looks and for just the feel and the sound it projects. This guitar only weighs 4.5 pounds, which is, I think, a pretty good lightweight guitar for a 16-inch instrument, especially with laminated sides like this has. So it feels surprisingly light when you pick it up. And it's it's a monster, man. It's just got that. It's really got a big-bodied instrument sound. Oh, it can do more than that. But if you want to do the Johnny Cash thing, it's ready. What can I tell you about this? Adirondack. Like, my favorite spruces these days, it would seem, are Adirondack and Carpathian. And they're really, Carpathian is European spruce. Adirondack is red spruce. Botanically different, but sound-wise and look-wise, they're really, really similar woods. And they both have this quality that I call saturation. That's my name for it in my head. It sounds amplified, like you've got a tube amp and it's just right on the cusp of breaking up. It's a super warm, intense sound, and I just don't know if this is something that can be transferred across the internet, usually listened to on phones. This is a very intimate and immediate sound. Something about the location of the sound hole, for one thing, it just throws the sound right up in your face. So this guitar is just incredibly present when you play it. Bluegrass there. So Adirondack has this quality that I don't know if other Adirondack and Carpathian spruce have this quality that I haven't felt in too many other species. I've had some German spruce guitars that have done it. You know, I say this because this is the wood I'm using right now. The fact is that most species of spruce will produce a really good guitar if you pick a really good example of the tree. I've had, the much maligned and neglected Sitka spruce can produce an absolutely fantastic guitar. Each one having its own qualities. I think a lot of times what we tend to do is we attribute the quality that a particular instrument has, the instrument which is a combination of the design, the build quality, the woods used, and maybe even the way in which it's played, and we will attribute that to one or fewer of its aspects, whereas what it really is a culmination of all of the things together. There's a certain sound that I love, and it seems to me that it's easiest and most likely to be produced when I use the Carpathian or the red spruce. So enough said about that. The back and sides of this instrument are Honduran mahogany, and they're curly, very tight, very even curl all throughout the set. And I really like that the curl, cosmetically at least, the curl goes all the way across the set. Like a lot of times it'll tend to sort of fade out as you get towards the edges or the center of the set. This is all the way across. So it's a very uniform and beautiful material with a ton of chatoyance. And it produces a very quick sounding guitar, though where we usually associate mahogany or lighter woods with having a lot less decay, a quicker decay. This one really kind of rings out. Now, if you get a chance to listen to that with headphones, you can hear how lingering the tones are. I mean, this has a very piano-like sound to it with the sustain pedal on, so that the notes that you've stopped playing are still banging around in the box and producing sound. The energy of them is there, like a ghost, and it just gives the instrument a really big, full sound. Terrible. And even there in that piece, I'm doing those like pretty quick arpeggios, right? Separate note arpeggios. It creates like a wash. The bass response here is something you can feel in your chest. I can feel this up against my body, and I can feel it resonating in like the sound chamber of my lungs. That's a really gratifying thing. And yet I don't feel like the top end is getting having to play second fiddle here. It's the top end is rich and fat. Something I think that is aided by the multi-scale build here. You know, so I have a short scale on the top end of 24/9, and the bass scale is 25/4. You might recognize those as being Martin long and short scales, which is what they are. And I think that gives a guitar the capacity to have a huge booming brassy bass and still have a sweet top end. So it's not just a gimmick, it's a real sonic thing. apologize for my terrible playing. I usually do these in the afternoon or something. This is the morning. So there's my excuse. Musicians are not supposed to be up in the morning. Anyway, here it is, the new Sidewinder. I'm very, very proud of this bugger. This is the model that I've built. Well, I've built fewer ibexes than this. That's the tiny one, right? But I've only really built maybe 5 of these, and they present a design challenge, which I think the hole size, the whole sound port hole thing here has to correlate in a pleasing way to the body volume. That is the amount of air enclosed by the body. I've talked about this before, but this changes the vowel sound of the instrument a tremendous amount, whether you're going ooh or ah, ee. Like if you get this wrong, if it's too big, you get this sort of flappy ah sound, and if you get it too small, you get this weird nasal like ooh sound. So just getting this aperture just right is a challenge with these instruments, because with a traditional sound hole, you just set your compass router to the right size and you can cut it always to the same size, whereas each one of these comma openings here is custom built, so they all are a little bit different. So I have to be super careful so that I get the size right, and I think that this one is just right there. I just love that voice just sounds open yet compressed enough. So anyway, the Sidewinder off he goes to his new home tomorrow in Chicago. He's Chicago bound. Thank you for watching, and I don't know what's up next. I think I have a Malaysian Blackwood Nautilus to show you next. So thank you, and bye-bye.